Hi everyone, welcome to the garage. It's coming towards the end of October and the end of another classic car season, and I thought I'd take you through some of the winter projects we've got lined up for the Rover P5b for this year, and also talk a little bit about how we're going to store it over the winter. Now, one of the first jobs, or one of the main jobs I'm going to do this winter, is the water pump. The water pump is of course here, and you can't really see that, but there is a little bit of play when I move that. And I did actually take some video in the summer in slow motion, where you can actually see the water pump oscillating or moving laterally. So the bearing has worn inside there, so that really does need replacing. It's not leaking, but it does need replacing over the winter in case it goes in the middle of a nice summer trip, which I don't want. So there's a new one. I've got a new one waiting to go in. Nice and shiny. With the gasket too. But I'm well aware of the problems or the dangers of doing this job, especially if the water pump has been on for a long time, because these bolts here are very prone to shearing. So I'm hoping this isn't the original water pump on here. I think it's, or I hope it is the one that was put on the car when it was restored about 20 years ago. So I'm crossing my fingers that they're going to be okay. Another issue I've got is with the gearbox. So we'll have a look at that. It's mainly to do with the selector. What's happening is that sometimes, especially when it gets warm, the car won't start when it's in park. So you have to move it to neutral to make it start. And also, as you can see, this car has the early D1, D2 selector. And what happens, or what should happen, is that in D2, you start off in second gear and you progress to third, and you miss out first gear altogether. And on this one, you're supposed to start in first, then it goes to second, then to third. But all I'm getting in this position is a lock in first gear, which is probably this is the lock. So if the selector is in the D1 position, all I'm getting is first gear, and it won't change up at all. But if I go to D2, it starts in first, goes to second, goes to third. So it seems to be out of sync somehow. And I think the issue with that lies with this little component here, the inhibitor switch. This is a new one. This is a replacement one I bought some time ago, but it's really an issue which has got to be addressed, because I'm also leaking gearbox fluid from around the inhibitor switch, which is in the car at the moment. It's a very tricky component to get at from underneath the car, so I think what I'm going to have to do is to take the center console out and get at it from the top here. And while I'm here, I'm going to recover this little switch panel here with some vinyl, and also recover the crash rail, because it's getting a bit some sort of glue on there, I think, from the original manufacturer or something. Anyway, that's got to be recovered, and that seems to be quite a simple job. Something else on the list which I didn't do last year is this electronic ignition kit, which I didn't fit, so that is on my list to do. I did have a problem with electronic ignition when I first bought the car. I bought this electronic distributor to fit in the car, fitted it, and went down the road, and within like 10 minutes the module completely burnt out, and I was stuck in the middle of the road. The reason for that might be to do with the fact that this car originally had a ballast resistor, which is actually still here, but has been bypassed now into this Lucas Sports coil. So what might be happening is that the voltage coming from the electrical system is quite high and is burning the module out. So I'm not really sure what to do about that. I'll have to check the voltage when the engine's running to see how much I'm getting, but I suspect it's more than 12 volts, and that was the reason for it burning out the module. But if you know anything more about that, then please comment below, because I'd like to sort that out and get that running properly for next year. I fixed the garage roof. I want to go outside and just check the garage roof. There we go. So the garage roof did have a few holes in it. So we've patched up the holes over the summer so the water won't get in, but it does need a little more attention. You see there on the painted bits, that's the bits which got covered because I was getting this patch on the ceiling here, which was getting progressively weaker and weaker. But hopefully we've patched up the hole, so that's going to dry out, and the ceiling's not going to collapse on the car, not this winter at least anyway. Another thing to do is take the number plates off and take them down to the insurance company, and they hold them until you pick them up in April probably, and by doing this it signifies your car's off the road legally and you don't have to pay the monthly insurance premiums. So they'll be coming off, and I'll be taking those down there probably next week before the 1st of November, otherwise I'm going to have to pay another month's premium. I'll also be taking the car along to the petrol station to give it a full tank of 5-star, and while I'm there I'm going to pop in this petrol stabilizer so the petrol stays fresh over the winter and we get no problems when we come to start it up and run it come the spring. Next thing we're going to do is, while the weather is fine, take it to the car wash and get rid of all the dust from the last summer trip, so she's clean and dry for the winter. So that's all we've got planned for the winter so far, but who knows what else might turn up. So please feel free to like, comment or subscribe, and join me in the garage for more fun with the Rover P5b in the weeks to come. Thanks for watching.
Be a safe driver.